Hi there everyone, well here we are, long overdue video. I thought I've been trying to do it for the last couple of days and it hasn't been a good time. I haven't really felt very well, I've had a bad chest and what have you. But it's great to be back with you, hopefully get everything sorted out and I'll get back to my regular videos. So the first thing I'm going to do is my drawer. So I've done the drawer. It's been a nightmare today. It's dark now outside. I wanted to get this done this morning, but obviously that didn't work out. And then literally just before I was going to start the video, the power went. So I've got the candles that I made on a previous video, just in case. But luckily it's all come back now. So I ran two drawers. One was for £50. All you had to do was like and tag a friend, tag a crafty friend. So hopefully these are the right order. Yep, so the winner for the £50 is Ursula Longworth. So well done, Ursula. So if you want to private message me when you've seen this, or I'll put a note as well, but if you want to private message me and I'll send you a voucher for £50 on the Crafterscope Etsy store and fill your boots and hopefully get some things you haven't got. And the winner of the big prize is, and this was all you had to do, anything you bought on the Etsy store is just leave a review, honest review. So if you're not happy, leave that you're not happy. If you're happy, obviously truthful, so I want you to be honest, because that's the whole idea of reviews. And the winner for this is Morag Broadfoot. So well done, Morag. So again, if you want to get in touch with me when you've seen this, and that is for £250, I'll get you a voucher sorted out, and then you can go and choose whatever you like in the store. So well done. Postage has been a little bit of a problem because it is taking a lot longer than it should do. Many of you will know that I bought from the shop before. I do like to get things out as quickly as I possibly can, usually within the same day or the day after, but the post offices all around the world are saying about delays. So I know there's flights cancelled from here, and they don't just take one parcel, or if it goes to the sorting office, they will wait till there's a full cargo. So if there's only 20 letters, then they're not going to put that on until they've got a lot. So at the moment it looks, well, it's a bit funny because some things are getting to people within 2 weeks. Some people, and my design team getting ready for the next shows, is actually taken 3 or 4. I've got a feeling things aren't going to get better soon, so there is a delay, but honestly I do post out everything I can as soon as I can. And what I'm going to do is I will run another competition to win if you want to leave a review. I'll sort that out and get that in the next couple of days. So that's just as a bit of a thank you. So I'm honest. If you haven't got your stock, I will send it to you. You won't lose out. It's just if you can have a little bit of patience, I'll do it. I'll get it as quickly as I can to you. So that's the drawer. I just wanted to put some cards up here of lots of cards that people have sent, and I just thought it'd be nice for you all to see all the other ones. But stupidly, there's some back here as well, but I can't show you all. But I will alternate them round so that you all get a chance to see. There's some really nice ones from people using the products, which is lovely. It's always nice to get, and it does cheer me up. A little tip, this is from a customer. My stamps are made of the thermoplastic rubber, so they are hard to release the first time. I've always said, things like if you place it on top of a radiator for 5 minutes or so, warm it up some other way. In the summer you find it's not so bad, but in winter time when it's cold, I know they are difficult to remove. A customer I was talking to about them about the stamps releasing on the first time, she's come up with a great idea. I can't show you now because I can't find my water bottle, but she's just heats the water bottle up and then just places the set of stamps on top of the water bottle for about 5 minutes, and then they easy release. It's only the first time, it's the way they're produced. They are very thick, so if you do try and get them off without, they won't break or tear, because they are thickly etched and what have you, so they won't, you wouldn't risk damaging them. But it's just, you know I have problems with my wrists, and sometimes peeling things off is quite difficult, so that's an easy release. And I've got to say thank you to Joe Welton for that, so thanks Joe if you're watching. Next I've got a couple of shows coming up the end of this month. Leonie's kindly doing them for me, which is great, and that is going to be a whole selection of Craftscape collections, so hopefully I've put something on there for everybody. Leonie loves working with the things, as you know, and she comes out with something really different, so it's always fantastic to watch her and Lou when they do my products, because it's always something completely different, and it's good to show you other ways of using the stamps, which is great. Excuse me. Right, so that's that bit. What I wanted to go through as well, I mean a lot of you that have used my products anyway, I know that the quality obviously and the transfer of image is very good, and that is why I chose Thermoplastic Rubber. Not only has it got all the benefits of rubber stamp, it's also clear for positioning. So I love rubber stamps, I love clear stamps, but sometimes you've got a rubber stamp and you really want to get it in the fantastic position when you come to pattern building. So going with the thermoplastic rubber, it gives you that ability as well, but you can use it for all your heat transfers. You can use it with paints, acrylic paints, you name it, you can use it. You can use your heat products, your embossing, your UT, the melt pot. So you don't feel that you've got to be scared of using anything. You can do whatever you like with them. One thing, the other thing about them is they are biodegradable and 100% recyclable, and that is something I am quite keen on doing. I like the environmental approach, and that's why I changed my packaging as well, so that it's all recyclable, and it's also from recycled materials as well. Even the plastic coating on the stencil stamps is corn extracts somehow. I don't know how they do it, but they do, and that is also what coats the cardboard packaging. They are a little bit more expensive, and I keep them as low as I possibly can, and I do offers and discounts as throughout the year. Excuse me. One thing I would say is, because there has been some feedback on pricing, and so I just wanted to go through that. I mean, unfortunately what happened with my packaging is they, for some reason, kept putting the A5 on the packaging, because that's how I started. The first set of stamps I brought out was an A5, and they were priced accordingly. But since then, you will notice, like the last 4, they actually are just media stamps because they aren't A5. So I just wanted to show you, these are the first stamps I brought out to you ever. This was the dolphin set, which I love it still, and the profile, the men's profile, because it was something I wanted to do, because at the time no one had done men's profile, or you'll know that went with this is the four stencils of the men's faces. So that's why I brought those 2 out, and they were your A5. So if we turn them over, they're on the A5, and you can see I'm not stingy. I do really pack the stamps full. So that is your A5 sheet. Now after that, when I draw a collection, I draw a whole range of collections, and then I divide them into the amount of stamp sheets that is available. And Johnson, who makes my stamps, came to me, and the second set, and he said, look, you're putting too many stamps on the on the sheet. So I didn't want to reduce them because that was the collection. I'd already taken ones out that I wasn't happy with, and what I wanted for that collection was all of those stamps. So he said what we can do is do a larger sheet. So I agreed, and that's why we went for I haven't ever called them A4 because they're not quite A4, but they are almost double the size of your A5. I've never charged the A5 prices. You'll see even with those they are absolutely jam-packed full. That's a packed sheet. I haven't wasted any space. You have to leave a certain amount of space in between each of the stamped images, but how they're made, well, he allows me to do it. I mean, he moans every single time I bring a stamp set. He'll say, you know, there's too many on there, but I go on and on and on and make sure that they're done. So I just wanted to show you the difference between, you can see, I mean, if you put it on its side, you know, short of that much there, and this bit at the top, that is more or less an A4 sheet. But they have always been classed as A5 until I kept on and said, look, we need to change the packaging. Now I've been collecting stamps for well over 15 years, and I know, and I'm not knocking any other company because different companies make stamps differently. Some are poured, some are the impression. There's lots of different ways of making stamps. Now I'm a crafter and I want to give as much as I possibly can. Now I've got stamp sheets where you've got an A5 stamp sheets and you maybe have 6 or 7 images. Now on this one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So we've got 16 images on there, and they're not small images. And the same with the larger one. I mean, this is a classic one here. This is the Floral Companions. This comes with the dies as well. And you know, I've used every bit of that stamp, you know, to give you the best quality and quantity that I can, you know. So I just wanted to say that because I'm not taking the mickey with prices. You know, it's that is, I pass on what I need to pass on to cover for everything, and that was basically it. I just wanted to say that because even this time, even though they're not called A5 stamps, and they haven't been for a long time, I know that some people have said on the Chanda that it was saying A5 stamps, and they're not A5, and that put off. Sorry, and that put a lot of people got in touch and did say, you know, you're charging £18-19 for A5 stamps, and it isn't the case. I mean, they are closer to A4 than A5. It's just something I wanted to clear up because I know if you've had my stamps before and you've had the stamp sheets, you know yourself that they're nowhere near an A5 size. They are quite huge. So that was that. I just wanted to go through a few samples that were on the show because the design team again did fantastic. But there was some that you didn't see, but it's impossible, isn't it, with the time? But this is absolutely fantastic. This is from Anne, and I mean the work she's done. Sorry about the lights because it's dark. I have to use the lights. You know, the work involved in that, and it's in a gorgeous frame. She's used the Craftscape heat transfer paints on it. Gorgeous. Is it free? I think it's free motion embroidery through here. But she's actually picked out here and the tumbling blocks, and they look absolutely stunning. You know, I mean that's a lovely piece of artwork to put in your room. And I just wanted to show it off because I don't think any of the samples get the time, but it's simply because of the time available on the show. So thanks Anne, I mean that's fantastic. And she's there's an amazing sample I saw the other day that she's done for the shows on the 29th. It's stunning. It was one of them speechless moments. I couldn't believe it. So thanks Anne. And thanks to all of them because every one of them does a fantastic work. I just wanted to bring a few pieces. This is again from Anne. This is using the large hexagonal dies. I'll quickly just show you actually while I'm doing it. So it's the hex is large, and you know, the value in this I think is fantastic. I'll open this and show you the size, because this was a set where I'd chosen so many of the dies that I wanted. I did have to cut some out because obviously being such large dies, the cost, I had to weigh up the cost and whether people wanted to actually invest in sort of this sort of size. So with this one, I've tried to make it as they all go together, but I've tried to do it so that if you do buy the whole set, you've got absolutely everything covered. So here you've got the large hexagonal, and you've got the tumbling blocks. So if you run this through 3 times with the light, medium and dark fabric, straight away you've got all every piece you need for your quilting. Because I know a lot of people do like stitching, and I've always liked my stamps to be, even from the very first, they've always been made for primarily stampers, but every one of them can stamp on fabric. You know, for embroidery, you've seen it. You must have seen, if you watch the shows, there's an awful lot of embroidery done with the stamps. You can make some fantastic your own designs. You know, like Anne did with that. That's I won't say simple because it isn't, but that's just using one. But you can actually bring out a lot of the stencil work. You know, if you go over that with the very light colour onto your fabric, and then maybe put dolphins through it or things like that, and then you've got your own design. No one else will have it, and you know, it's something really nice and a lovely evening product, especially with the darker evenings coming through. And also in that one, there's a large hex, and I'm sure this is 3 inches. Sorry, beg your pardon. It's 3.5 inches. So if you cut that out, you've got a choice. You can either use, well, you see, I just cut all my fabric out with this, and then I just mark my own seam allowance. As long as you use the same seam allowance throughout your project, you can use 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, centimetre, whatever you want. So that's that. And then they also did them to come in the different sizes. So you can even do the micro quilting. You know, I've seen, not a lot, but I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube, and people have done the micro quilting. Now I can hardly see. I can hardly. I can see. I can hardly. I haven't got that precision anymore. But I think if I was maybe 10 years younger, that's a fantastic thing to do. Is the micro quilts. I won't undo all of these. So here you've got your hex fun, and I've given you a few sizes there. You've got the 3 sizes, and then this one coordinates with the one on there. It was supposed to be done black so that it would be separate, but it wasn't. And these are fantastic for your scrapbooking, cards. You know, use the waste. You know, it's fantastic texture for your backgrounds, things like that. That's the hex fun. I wasn't going to go through products because I didn't want to go through, but now I'm doing it. So here again, these are fantastic. This is what I was talking about, your micro quilting. You could do your tumbling blocks, and they're in different sizes. Being hexagon, obviously you can interlock those as well. Cut them out, use them as stencils, make your own design onto a piece of sort of scrap card, stencil through them. You've got a brilliant background. This is my favourite, the striplet, because each time I brought a striplet out, and this was ideal for this. Again, fantastic for paper piecing. Cut that out and just piece individual parts. You can make up your words. So if you had it that way, you could paper piece so it read something, whatever you like. And again, these, like all the others, they cut inside your card so you can make them longer. So like I showed you, going back to the very first ATC, you know, if you've got the ATC lattice, you can make that into a 12 by 12 or 8 by 8, 6 by 6, even though it's a small die. This one you can make longer as well, so you can have a square box. It locks really well into your card. I might do that when I get to a crafting one. Sorry, I'm going to use loads of time, aren't I do get talking. So yeah, that's a really good one, and never ever think that that's all you're going to get, because you can cut. You've got a fantastic decorative edge there for a start, so you just use the decorative edge and that gives you a lovely background. Then you've got the lattice. As I say, you can build it up. I try and variegate the edges, so over time you've got lots of different decorative edges, which is great. So anyway, there, I was waylaid. So Anne's done this, and she's done a great job. She said don't show Hayley. I don't know why. Hayley'd be fine with that, wouldn't she? I mean, Hayley's got her own quilting thing now, but you know, this is just something extra you can do with the dies. They weren't specifically done for papercraft. They weren't specifically done for, but you know, I like variation. So I think when you get evenings, don't you, where you think, oh, I don't know, I don't want to make a card, I want to do this, or so you go to your stamps, have a look, do something different. So thanks, Anne, for that. Pop that there. And if I just whiz through some of these as well, because you know they do put a lot of work in. So this is from Brian, using the hex there, and happy and little bee, and I think that's great. You know, just a real simple card. You've got something really special. You know, people won't know you've done that. You've spent a bit of time giving them a really nice, unusual card that you wouldn't get anywhere at all. A simple one from Elaine, just using some of the stamps. The stamps I will go through because I love the stamps. I really do love these ones. Just a lovely border, plain simple card. Sometimes the hardest cards to make. They look simple, but when you come to do them, they're not always easy. One here from Anne. Love this card, love the colours, really jolly, really brighten you up, and you know, it makes you change your mood, doesn't it? If you send a card with bright colours, you know, when people get them, it does cheer them up. You know, I got a surprise box from my sister this morning, a lovely card from my niece, and it was really nice. She'd made it herself, you know, just in fact drawing, colouring, it was lovely. You know, I always keep cards. There's never any cards that anyone sends me or gives me, or the design team. They're all kept. You know, there's all the work that's gone into them. I think it's fantastic. This is from Brian with a Y in the design team. Again, I'll show you when I come to the stamps, but I've done some quilting block. You know, these are fantastic on your quilts. If you use them in conjunction with... because as you know, all my stamps go together. If you use them in conjunction with the retro set, there's solids in there, so you can use the solid colour behind. That looks brilliant. If you maybe use 3 or 4 colours, stamp underneath and then over stamp. That's something I might show you at one point. I'll put that aside for now. Another one from Anne. This is from the Paisley Palace. Fantastic cards. Really, you know, you can just stamp them out. You could stamp a big sheet of those actually, colour them in, spend the evening colouring them in, cut them all into different rectangles maybe, or squares, or even using the hexes again, and then design your card with that. That'd be great. No, you know, nothing like that. You could use the the rectangle dies I've got. There's rectangles 1 and 2. They'd be great, sort of like different types, and then putting them all back together. That's great. One from Brian. This is Brian with an I. Great using the hexagons and fabric. I think, yeah, is it fabric or fabric paper? Textured paper, but it does look like fabrics. So you could do that with fabrics as well, which is great. You could even stitch around the edges of them all. You know, something a bit different there. This is from Magda. Using one of the stencils. This is from this set before. I think it was with the Splinters in Time, and then the stamp that coordinates actually with this, and that, completely different. So similar stamp, completely different look. This is from Brian with an I. This is just using one of the petals out of a silver lining. is it the silver lining or is it a larger one? I think it's Beautiful Days, this one. What I did was across these is I wanted, they can all be used on their own, so if you just buy one set of stamps, then there's everything in there you can use to come up with an idea. If you buy the whole set, then obviously you've got some different sizes. I didn't want to do it so, sometimes you buy a set of stamps and you think, oh, I really love all of those, but I just want that one as well, and maybe you don't 100% like everything else that's on it, so you just go for the one set. Sometimes you lose out, so on these I've done them so you've got all the elements or parts of elements on one set, but if you go for the whole set, then it opens up your scope to do things. This one's also from Magda. This is the leaf. This is lovely. I love this leaf. I've done them. There's two of these, one going left, one going right, but I didn't want to do it so they're exactly the same. So one's slightly different. So more's a solid, more's the other one's more veined. But you can, depending on what you do, you can make them look identical. So that's another thing there. This is from Brian, and this is from the Hex Fun die set. Beautiful Day stamps, and I've just realised they're on the back, and here I am trying to think which ones they are. This is lovely load of texture, lovely colour, really another simple card, but you know, really textural and interesting. Here we've got one from Magda again. Oh dear, why have I been so... I usually try and get some from everyone. There's probably some over in the other side of the room. This one's from Magda, as I say. This one's the silver lining stamp set, and the geo circles at the back. I love this stencil. This is really, really good, and I just love that, how it's like the watercolour and it picks up the textures and everything. Just a bit more interest in your card. And finally, this one's from Elaine. This is lovely as well. This is the same leaf. I love it. You know, another really plain simple card, but what a lovely statement that is. That would look lovely on your mantelpiece. Really fresh, springtime. You could do that with your other colours, autumn colours, winter colours, for a completely different look. So that's that's the card. So yeah, if we just look at this again, and I'm just going to see where we are. So if we take that, and where are we then? So I'll just show you on this one. So this is from the Paisley Palace, and on the Paisley Palace I put some blocks here. Now these are like your you know, when you do your quilt, you do your fabric blocking. Well, you can do this and do your own prints on fabric with these. I'd use Versacraft. I'd use Versacraft with this if you're doing it on fabrics, and then seal it on the back with an iron. So that's that. I mean, you can see how, again, that's how packed the sheet is. I mean, you know, it is packed. I do like to pack them full, you know, and I think if you're used to the stamps from Craft Soap, you will know that I do like to do that, because I'm greedy, and I think everyone should have the same. So I want to show you one of the flowers on here. So this is the copy here. If I turn it around, you can see the stamp size is a lot bigger, and what I've done with this one is I've given you quite a few sizes. You've got this size here, then you've got the next size, and then on another sheet, as I say, we've got a larger size of the same stamp. So across, I think there's 5 petals like this. Now, if you can imagine that, sorry about the lighting, if you look at this, and then in the centre, this is done so you've got a nice design if you want to do a stamp on its own, but also if you want to do it so this is black, and you can put something like a brad through there. You can either layer them up the same size. This is why I didn't mind spreading them across the sheet, because if you use 2 or 3 layers of that, you can get some amazing flowers, and depending on how you shape them, they look very different. So you could have a poppy, or you could have you know, if you use that and then a smaller one, you've got a daffodil if you do it in yellow. there's so many flowers you can do with that, and if you did get the whole set, then obviously you've got the different sizes. So if you build that up with the 5 petals, you get a gorgeous flower. This is another thing, you see, I like to, if you layer up with a lot of the stamps, you can layer them up to be a flower, you know, like with the roses, Bloom and Grow set. I've got like the I've got these, I don't know if you can see that very well, but these came from the Bloom and Grow set. This was a much more of a sketchy type collection, which look great black and white as well. But those can be built up as flowers. And let's have a look. I mean, even with this one, there's a stamp that goes like this as well. The Lady Marjorie swag. I think it's in the Lady Marjorie set. But you can stamp those if you just ink up these 2 roses and stamp those and then layer them up. They look lovely 3D, and I've got a feeling Jane Royston did a 3D set of that, so that was nice. So I will go through those properly at one point, because you know, just to go through them in a bit more detail, because we all know what it's like in a show. They don't really have the time to go through. Now, why did I get those? Oh, well, here's what I was just talking about. So there's the Lady Marjorie set, and there's the swag that goes with the die as well. So I think that is all I'm going to do today. I think. So anyway, it's been nice spending a bit of time with you. I'm sorry if it's a Gaston one. Just one other thing that I will say. You know, it's nice giving out prizes, especially when it's a big one, and I didn't want to give out a package. I wanted someone to be able to go in and choose what they wanted, you know, rather than say, oh, you're having da 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 da. You've got the money there, so you can go and choose exactly what you want. And because I wasn't able to do the Hochanda draw this time, usually I do the draw a couple of days before the show. I just do a Hochanda usually put up a giveaway for me, but I wasn't able to do that this time. They didn't have space, so I wanted to do something for everyone. And then when I'd done that, I thought, oh, you know, it would be nice if I did one for just people that weren't buying, so I offered the other one. But now when I drew the names out earlier, I thought, oh, what about all the other people that have joined in as well? So it's only a little thing, but I am going to do £10 off voucher for if you got involved. £10 off, it'll give you, what I say, £10 off anything over £20. So if you buy a couple of sets of stamps and they're over £20, then you can take the £10 off. And the code for that is just simply 10 off, all in capitals, 10OFF. So if you buy something for £20, it will bring it down to 10. Most of the things on there are free packaging, free postage packaging. So yeah, that's it. So that's a little bit, and I'll give details of the next competition, the next draw. So keep your eyes out, because you know it's going to be a nice prize again. Got quite a lot of magazine things coming up starting in December. I've got a magazine article in the 24th, I think it is, and then there's the launch of the new Paper Crafter of the Year awards, and I'm sponsoring that this year, so giving quite a few prizes out for that. We'll be across the Simply Stamping and Paper Crafts. That'll be throughout the year next year. And hopefully, I've got my new collections, but they're not being produced at the moment because obviously we don't know what's going on. Quite exciting new things. I've got a really very different Christmas, different from things that have been out before, so that's completely different. I know it won't suit everyone, but it's you know, it's something I wanted to do. Christmas is lovely. We all like the traditional, but you know, it'd be a bit exciting to do something a little bit different. So that's coming up. I can't give you dates because I really don't know. It all depends on what happens at the moment. I mean, things are difficult, so I really do thank you for your support, because you know, obviously I'm not in the UK, so I haven't got the support of the government there. You know, I know I know it's affecting an awful lot of people, small businesses especially. You know, so we just have to, I mean, I've been trying to support people as much as I can, the smaller businesses, I'm sure a lot of you are as well. I know you are. So, you know, thank you very much, because I wouldn't still be able, it would be impossible for me to continue otherwise. So I'm sorry I've had to postpone this a few days, and I'm really, really sorry that I haven't been around for a while, but, you know, health-wise and what have you, I've not been able to. So thank you very much, and it's, as I say, lovely to have been with you, and I'll see you soon, and take care, and hopefully when I upload this I'll be around so I can chat if you're around when you're watching. Alright then, so take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.